and with their highest preseason ranking in 16 seasons. They'll be hosting the reigning Missouri Valley Conference regular season champion Belmont Bruins, who have won 20 or more games 9 years in a row. And happy opening day, everybody. Great to be alongside Pooh Williamson. I'm Chad McKee. It's an opener, so we don't know exactly what these teams are going to look like. But if you look at the recent history of the two programs, Pooh, we may have a little contrast of styles. What do you expect?
I think one of your favorite sayings, Chad, styles make fights. And in this fight, you have the Sooners, high-octane, high-possession basketball, and the Belmont Bruins, offensive execution at a high level with floor spacing.
And today, they'll try to defend one of the best players in the country. That's Reagan Beers, a returning All-American for the Sooners, who may, if you talk to other coaches, be the hardest player in the country to match up with. Why is that?
Because, Chad, when you talk about Reagan Beers, you're talking about a player that brings a physicality that puts so much pressure on the opposition night in and night out. You see her right there swiveling, using her body. She is a walking double-double who can get 18 and 10 in her sleep.
And to an already loaded roster, the Sooners have added Aaliyah Chavez, the consensus #1 recruit in the class of 2025. What is the skill set that made her so?
Chad, get that popcorn ready, because you're talking 35 points, 9 rebounds, 4.5 assists in high school. But the best part of her game may be her facilitating and passing, and she's loaded with talent surrounding her here at Oklahoma.
Now, Belmont made the championship game of the WBIT last season. Prior to that, 4 NCAA tournament trips in 8 seasons. What have been the cornerstones of this program?
Well, it starts with Coach Brooks, as we're seeing right there. His teams have a mental toughness. They have that great offensive execution, and they have a defensive edge. And when you bring those 3 things to the table, Chad, you give yourself a chance to win night in and night out, which they do.
Fans on their feet here at the Lloyd Noble Center as we are ready to go. It is the opener. Kevin Peptel into the center court, interlocking OU logo to toss it up. Aaliyah Chavez out there at the controls for Oklahoma. Sooners return 3 starters. This is one of them, Peyton Verhulst, who has called for an opening travel. And we head the other way, something the Sooners with essentially 3 point guards on the floor, cut down on turnovers a bit this year.
You say that, you said that right too, Chad, because Verhulst, although she's 6'1", she is a 1 through 4, potentially 5 type player.
At the controls is Jalen Banks, 64th career start. She'll hand it off to the heartbeat of this program, Tootie Jones. Hard dribble drive by Banks, pull up and pop, impacted by Sahara Williams, who grabs the rebound. Oklahoma starting lineup, well, it's awfully good. You got these returning starters, Verhulst, Sahara Williams. You add to it Aaliyah Chavez, and we see the initial bucket goes to Reagan Beers, All-American, All-SEC a season ago. Chavez the steal. Here's Verhulst letting it rip and rinses it. 5-0 Sooners, 1 minute in, Pooh.
Do not blink, Chad. That is OU basketball. You have 5 points, 2 made field goals, 2 assists, and that is OU being OU.
So Belmont, they would like to slow the tempo as much as possible. So tough to do against Oklahoma, though. A.K. Brody is in the starting lineup. Jones tried to get that one up over Beers. She certainly impacted it. And down to the floor we go for a held ball. Possession arrow is going to stay on this. And you see 3 returning starters for Belmont. Jalen Banks, Emily LaChapelle, and Tootie Jones. It's her 138th career start today. The Belmont career record is 140. She's going to blow through that sometime next week. There she is.
Coach Brooks could not say enough great things about Tootie Jones, Chad. I mean, just the loyalty to this program. 6-year player that has had all kind of opportunities, but stayed here where she is loved.
Shot clock is at 5. How to get a shot away. Dribble drive here by Banks. I don't know if they realize the shot clock. They do not. And that's going to be a shot clock violation against Belmont. Early season jitters, court awareness, all those things factor in.
No question. And this is something to keep an eye on. It's early, obviously, a minute and a half into this game. But OU is going to have to be dialed in and focused on that defensive end. And it's not going to be just 10 seconds in a turnover. You're going to have to dig in for 20-plus seconds per possession.
Chavez tightly guarded out top. And Sahara Williams misfires on that one. She cannot chase down the rebound as Jenny Baranczyk, her team, after 4 years, 4 NCAA tournament bids, Sweet 16 this past year. They won back-to-back Big 12 titles on the way out the door. She's won 20 or more games every season. This is their highest preseason ranking in 16 years.
Well, it doesn't take long to figure out why. You see this turnover. When you talk to Coach Jenny Baranczyk, you know why her teams play so hard and they compete and they do what they do, because she just oozes that excitement for the game of basketball.
Style of play, culture, all those things, intangibles off the floor. That's what's made Oklahoma such a popular spot. Think about it. With Chavez, this is the #1 recruit in the country. She chooses to come to Oklahoma. They've got returning great players like Verhulst, Beers, and Williams, and a great culture. Jones scampers the other way.
Watch these Sooners on defense, Chad. Watch these defensive stances. See if they can stay locked in and dialed in with 10 eyes on the basketball, but don't get caught staring.
12 on the shot clock. Banks lets fly. Rebound, Williams. Said dribbling. Chavez says, no problem, I'll come bail you out. Fling off a Beers screen. Foul line jumper, a little bit strong. And plucked by Jalen Banks the other way. Banks opportunistically trying to get to the bucket, but it falls just a bit short. And Zaya Van has the rebound. And playing now without her sister Skylar. Chavez triggers and hits. That was a 2. That right foot just snuck across.
A little stop and pop there in transition. And one of the things, even though Aaliyah took that jump shot, her head nods were up. They are always up in transition. One of the things I love about watching her play the game.
Steal, an assist, and a bucket for Chavez. Turn and try here by Brody. And Williams with the Oklahoma rebound. Sooners a quick 7-0 start. Try to get physical with Sahara Williams. Good luck. Not gonna happen.
Sooners giving Belmont a little taste of their own medicine, playing out of that high post, spreading it 5 out. Right into that 4 out, 1 in, though. And if you're going to have 1 in, that is the one person you want in that post, Jack.
Belmont's going to make some substitutions here for their 9th-year head coach. Mark Brooks, 4 NCAA tournament appearances, 5 regular season conference titles. They've won 20 games every year. His first game as a head coach was right here, 2017 against Sherry Cole's Sooners. Vivi Pierre-Louis had 24 and 12 for Oklahoma that day. But he said he also coached here as an assistant at DePaul against the Paris Twins.
He said, right there, as you see, Zaya getting a little stick back. One of the things that really cracked me up talking to Coach Brooks, though, he said that was his first time being the person to call timeouts, and they needed a timeout, and he said, well, I guess I'm the one in charge now, so I better call that timeout.
Penalty line, Chappelle has entered the lineup. She's a returning starter. This is Jones. 10 seconds to shoot. LaChapelle, little ball fake, and Van blocked it. Taken away by Verhulst. He was in there at high post spot. Sooners have had some patient trips. Chavez lines up another one. That skims across and out of bounds. It'll stay on this end. It went off a Belmont player underneath.
9 seconds on the shot clock right now. Did not hit the rim. As the Sooners bring in some reinforcements here, something to keep an eye on, because folks, 22 Lofton and 21 Stewart, you're talking freshmen. And that's one of the things that, talking to Coach Baranczyk, she said, you're going to see a lot of freshmen in the ball game, and not a lot of teams are doing that these days.
Verhulst slides through the back door for a left-handed lay-in.
Give Verhulst the basket, but give Stewart the assist. Great pass right there on the give and go. And Payton with what I like to call the sneak. Left hand on the right side, sneaks it right under that defender, and great finish.
How about 3 freshmen and a sophomore on the floor for the Sooners? That jump hook no good for Fuller. A foul on the rebound. That's Oklahoma. Jenny Baranczyk said, are you ready to play an opener? She said, I got 5 freshmen. I think I'd like to practice a little more. But here they are, 3 freshmen out there.
And one of the things she said was just so different than what they've had the last couple of years, where they've had, you know, depth, but also experience. This year they have depth, but some of that depth, as we just mentioned, when you bring Lofton and Stewart right off the bench, first 2 in the game, you're looking at 2 freshmen right now.
2 free throws coming here for Hillary Fuller. She's out of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Lone returning post player really for this Belmont team. They're trying to find that interior post depth. Still scoreless.
You know what? She has a body 6'2", that size to compete. Not the easiest thing in the world when you're talking about guarding Reagan Beers, but 6'2", and she's strong enough to compete in that post.
Van off the floor now, lost her dribble. Verhulst, so versatile, just went right around her defender, and she's got a 3-point opportunity.
So good. I mean, Peyton Verhulst makes the game look easy, Chad.
Peyton Verhulst, all-SEC performer, has already shown you many of the numerous things she's capable of. A 3-point chance for the senior when we come back to Norman. Verhulst, all-SEC player, got the All-American Reagan Beers. The kind of toughness on this team provided by Sahara Williams. This roster's loaded. The depth is something that, as you said, will continue to develop. But when you look at Oklahoma, number 6, number 7, depending upon preseason poll that you look at, that's number 4 in the preseason poll in the SEC. That's how good it is.
Well, you and I were talking off air. You and I were just watching the Vanderbilt-Cal game that was in Paris. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, 8 ranked teams. So night in and night out, as good as the Sooners are, you got to buckle your seatbelt and be ready to play. It just doesn't matter. You got to strap it up every night and be ready to bring it.
Oklahoma's going to get tested. They're at UCLA next Monday. 14-0 start. Belmont so far 0 for 7 from the field. Oklahoma 6 for 11. Bell trying to work off a little screen. Dump it in to KK Brody. Nice ball reversal, and the first bucket of the evening goes to Avery Strickland, the Tennessee transfer.
And a great one more pass right there by LaChapelle. Caught her in rhythm. Avery Strickland, feet and hands ready, and that is what she does. She is a 3-point knockdown jump shooter.
Art Brooks said they tried to recruit her 3 previous times before they finally got her, coming out of high school. Then when she went to Pitt, she went from there to Tennessee, and finally Tennessee to Belmont. Chavez comes over and gets a piece of the ball, but a piece of Strickland as well. There'll be 2 free throws here for the Knoxville, Tennessee native Avery Strickland.
And now we see why Coach Brooks was trying to get Avery Strickland to come to Nashville so badly, because she can put it in the hole. I mean, she had 39 made threes as a freshman at Pittsburgh, led the team in made threes, and she came in and wasn't bashful right there on that one more pass by LaChapelle. And Chad, you love when they tee it up and get that elbow under the ball and let it fly.
Let it fly. Strickland's going to get a chance to do that. 2 years at Tennessee, including last season's Sweet 16 team. And she's going to get a chance to play against Tennessee on November the 13th. Belmont is always a very challenging non-conference schedule. Duke, Kentucky, and Tennessee, in addition to Oklahoma. There's the first Sooner turnover. Banks the other way, trying to probe that defense. Good extra pass to Tripp, and she knocks home a 3.
And LaChapelle again with that assist, that one more, that click pass right there to that open shooter in the corner, and knocked down right there by Tripp.
Sanaa Tripp out of Covington, Georgia. Played about 15 minutes a game a season ago, and that's when you think Belmont and people around college basketball spacing and knocking down shots like that right there.
That is what they do. They spread that floor. It'll be 5 out into 4 out, 1 in. Sometimes you'll see them flash and go some high-low. We're going to see a lot of that, but they do an excellent job of running their offense.
Beatrice Cullinson has entered the Oklahoma lineup, hands it off to Chavez, who drops down a little mid-range, and Jenny Baranczyk said that little pull-up game is one of the best parts of what she can do.
Oh, you can tell how comfortable she is, especially floating and moving to her left right into that pull-up. That is like layup status right there for Leah Chavez, Chad.
LaChapelle set to inbound it.
Sooners love to zone up those out of bounds right there. You see them.
Deep 3 by Banks, and that's 3 threes after a start that was 0 for 6. Belmont's hot.
Well, and they've shot themselves right back into this ball game.
Trying to slide under the bucket is Kaya Smith. She's fouled. And so the sophomore from Oklahoma City, C. West High School, earns a pair of free throws for the Sooners.
But did you see the pass by Leah Chavez, Chad? That's one of the things we talked about in the open. Dribbling with her left hand, left side. Nice cut. Hard basket cut by Smith, and right on the money, right on time with the delivery, Aaliyah Chavez. Good pass.
So here's Kaya Smith, 17 games as a freshman a year ago. Won a state title at Putnam City West High School. It was their first state championship in 40 years. 1 of 2 for the sophomore.
Well, she is just going to get better and better. The exhibition game the other night, you and I saw, she had 8 points and 4 rebounds in 20 minutes in that game. And as that game progressed, you could just see her confidence level boost up.
A little different role for her. Watched a lot last year. Now she'll be right in the thick of things. LaChapelle misses. Verhulst, another one on the way. No good this time, and the backside rebound, Tootie Jones.
Sooners put so much pressure on you in transition. They just test your transition defense. Peyton's such a threat.
Strickland off the mark with that. Fuller able to scrape it up. Couldn't find LaChapelle. That'll be a turnover. And Sahara Williams shows you what makes her one of the best defenders in the SEC. Williams into Culleton, up with that strong left hand and in.
And that was just great high-low action right there. And Sahara did a great job of posting up at the elbow for that dump down to Beatrice. And that is exactly how Jenny drew it up.
Here's Fuller, and she cashes one in.
I mean, this is something that Belmont is more than capable. They shot 24.5 threes. They attempted that many as a team last year, but they really love to attack the paint with cuts, but they are shooting themselves right back into this thing, Chad.
Yeah, they've made 4 of 6 from three-point range to get back within 6. Smith, she's got a three-point opportunity. Look what I found.
And that is just a hustle, stick-to-itiveness play by Kaya Smith, just staying with it, making hustle plays, doing what she does, and that is what she brings to the floor for this Sooner bunch.
See, Culleton kind of keeping that ball alive and opportunistic.
And look what I found right there. Picking up the loose change and cashing it in, Chad.
So Smith trying to cash in on another Sooner three-point play. Came in that class last year along with Zaya Van. Trying to get substitutions situated here. Beatrice Culleton was headed into the game. They made her stop. She's going to have to wait just a moment.
I figure out if she's coming in for Peyton or she's coming in for Kaya. Looks like she's coming for the shooter. Or maybe not.
She's not. 22-13, Oklahoma on top. Largest lead was 14. They led this game 14-0. Smith right in front of Banks. Tough shot, but she'll shoot a pair of free throws.
Jalen Banks doing what she does. They space that floor as we talked about. She is a downhill driver that really got into a heat up last year in that postseason play in the WBIT, where she was all WBIT selection that averaged 16 points a game, made a game winner. Chad, I mean, she really got a flow. And I think Coach Brooks said she rode that wave all the way to November now. Just that confidence that she gained in the WBIT, you can kind of see it right now coming into Norman, Oklahoma.
Had a 25-point game against Villanova in that. And she was the freshman of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference back in 2023-2024. And that's with her season cut short due to injury.
And it's one of those things where you can see it. It's a great hustle play there by Beatrice, but Coach Brooks said she's the ultimate competitor. He was almost a little talking to you and I. You could tell I don't want her to get too amped up and get going, but he knows his players. And Jalen Banks looks like she came to compete.
Said, don't let your strength be a weakness.
Sooners love to zone up in those baseline out of bounds plays.
Run Strickland off the three-point line. Here's Jones, really yet to get going. Eubank, soft left-handed three, drops. And we've got a 6-point game.
Again, the Belmont Bruins are shooting the cover off the basketball. And I would say it's the passing that is leading to those open shots. Great job of passing and moving that ball.
It'll stay on this end. On the held ball, Sooners will maintain their possession. We see Leah West, another freshman out of Greensburg, Indiana.
WomensBB, a young freshman, like you said, brings physicality. Again, that's what you have to do, and it's bring bodies after bodies after bodies to try to compete with Reagan Beers. And even that being said, the young freshman is getting a taste of SEC basketball right now, guarding Reagan.
Sahara Williams, beautiful look to Culleton for the easy feed.
And you, as a coach, you always tell your players don't leave your feet to pass, but that was an excellent job by Sahara, seeing Beatrice so open and making that play.
I think she left her feet to shoot and then decided, you know what, pass might be a better option.
You know, and another thing as a coach, when it works like that, you don't know.
You don't ask questions.
Yeah, no question. That's 2 points. Chalk them up and go play defense.
Burholz returns for the Sooners. Out of the gate with 8 quick points. Second team All-SEC season ago, Peyton Burholz. Pass behind Kinsley Feltner, who was the intended recipient of that one from Leah West, experiencing some, I don't know, freshman moment right there for West.
Not quite enough time for a little 2-for-1. Looks like Belmont actually went zone, but right there is a really good job of throwing it to the best player in the gym and taking advantage of the young freshman right there. Again, as we said, Leah West is going to get a taste of some high-level hoops right here this afternoon, guarding Reagan Beers. It'll only help her later, though, in her career.
About 2 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Bruins going to play for the final look in the opening period, which saw Oklahoma lead 14-0. 10-point game. Bruins a chance to get closer, but not with that one from Banks. We'll see if Williams can get one away. High off the window. No. But Oklahoma off to a flying start. 14-0 lead. And a 10-point advantage at the end of period number 1 behind the returning All-American Reagan Beers and her peers.
Triple-double, which she had last. I think the only other person that's done it in the last few years is named Caitlin Clark.
That's right.
That's some rare company, and that just tells you how good of a player that Peyton Burholz really is.
It was a 25-point triple-double against her mom, Robin's alma mater, Duke, no less. 38-point game against Miami, and she's just not threatened by others' success. Nothing gets to her. She's been so good at welcoming Aaliyah Chavez and the other 4 freshmen into this Oklahoma rotation.
Well, just talking to Coach Baranchek, she couldn't say enough about her leadership qualities and what she brings to the table.
Shot clock down to 12. LaChapelle. No good. All 5 Belmont field goals have been 3-point makes. That's how they have stayed in this thing so far.
Well, you're talking 15 of the 16 total points, I mean, are from behind the arc. And again, not something they're totally known for, but they are kind of one of those tough-minded teams that whatever it takes to keep you in a game like this, they do.
Oklahoma back to its original starting 5, including Sahara Williams, Zia Van, and they're going to call her for an offensive foul. We used to call those loose ball fouls back in the day, Pooh, but they get number 2 on Zia Van. That's the first foul against the Sooners here in this period.
So you take out one Bethany high school product and put in another with Keziah Lofton coming in. And really what she can do right here. You see her picking up full court, using her length, bothering Tripp out on the perimeter, and just being a pest. That's what Coach wants her to do. You get in, help us out by being a pest, and it is raining threes right now in Lloyd Noble.
That is number 2 for Eubank, and Belmont has gotten back within 7. Here's Beers, and she sticks the triple. She showed that part of her game last season, in fact, in Reagan Beers. She made 12 of her 33 tries from downtown.
Did I say it was raining threes, Chad? Get your umbrella, because Reagan Beers came right back and dropped one from the rafters as well.
Sooners' second made 3 of the evening. Are we at evening? Are we at afternoon? I don't know. 4:30 start. That's a little different, part of the doubleheader. Sooner men will play an hour following the women's game concluded.
This is actually a really good play right there, made by Aaliyah Chavez, kind of a la Villanova. Chris Jenkins toss it back, and Reagan Beers playing Chris Jenkins and banging a big 3 right there.
Sooners turn it over there. It's Oklahoma's Fourth turnover of this opening half, and another three. That is number 6. This one knocked down by Sanaa Tripp. It is her second made triple.
It is raining threes right now, and the Bruins are hanging around by playing behind that arc.
It's raining like this, we're going to need a flash flood warning.
We are in Oklahoma, Chad.
Tough, rugged rebound in there by Eubank. Belmont really looking to run or up the pace against Oklahoma. They're going to have to reset the shot clock, I think, there. It says 30. Probably should be about 24, if I'm guessing.
Well, you know what Coach Brooks really wants to do is just hang around. I mean, and as he told us, they've competed. They've been able to win Power 4 games on the road in these rough environments like Norman, Oklahoma, and they just hang around, just give yourself a chance. And they withstood that initial 14-0. I mean, think about it. They got popped right in the chops. Yep. And since then, you're talking what? If my Tulsa education says 14, that's what, 22 to 15. They're outscoring them by 7 right now.
That's right. They have outscored Oklahoma 22-15 since that very challenging start. But he, you know, just as you said, he said, look, environments, it's not going to intimidate his veteran players. Now, some of the newcomers remains to be seen because they've played in environments like this. Now, matching up with just the physical skills that Oklahoma has on the roster, that's a different story.
So true. Shot clock is low right now. I think they recognized it.
Tripp, lofted flies at her, and a shot clock violation. No, beg your pardon, it just went out of bounds before the shot clock horn sound. And
that is a solid defensive possession right there. Chalk that one up. If you're OU, you want to string, you know, you talk about those kills, 3 stops in a row. You want to string those together and try to get you 2 or 3 kills, and that gives you a chance to get this lead back up, because if you do not, these guys are going to hang, because that is what the Bruins do. High-low, they love this look right here.
And it goes to Beers, a mismatch, but she missed it. Patting the rebounding stats and knocks down another field goal.
A little a la Moses Malone, get the old offensive board stats up, where Reagan gets nearly 3 of those a game last year, and she may be looking to up that number this season.
Reagan Beers, solid start, 9 points, a couple of rebounds so far. Swing pinballs into the hands of West, and she's fouled.
I love that swing, that one more. We've seen that how many times this early evening, afternoon by the Belmont Bruins, and getting those open shooters in rhythm with that swing, one more pass, get that shooter in rhythm.
So the Bruins will get the shot clock reset to 20 on this possession. And Tripp, who's knocked down a couple of threes, will trigger. Tripp wanted to pass that one inside, but Eubank wasn't looking. Somehow, she got it, but missed.
What did we say, Chad? You leave your feet and shoot, right? Eubank left her feet thinking pass.
Chavez couldn't drill that triple. The steal, though, by the freshman. Behind the back look, all the way in. And the referee's going to communicate, get their heads together. And the call will be a blocking foul. Chavez will shoot a pair.
And for those at home in women's college basketball, don't let that restricted arc fool you. That doesn't matter. So there's a cylinder under the basket. They would just say, yeah, you can see it right there. She wasn't quite solid set.
First foul on La Chapelle. And so here is Aaliyah Chavez, first time in the foul line. National Player of the Year. Expectations, but nobody has higher expectations than she does for herself. The staff has just said it was a pleasure to work with her to this point.
Well, the biggest compliment for Aaliyah Chavez is she's just an everyday hooper. She's just a player. She wants to play ball as much and as often and, you know, as long as she can. And I think she's going to have a chance to lace those sneakers up, Chad, for a long time.
This is KK Brody trying to back down the Oklahoma freshman Brooklyn Stewart. She does so successfully.
KK Brody right there, the Pepperdine transfer, a la Dirk Nowitzki with the fadeaway 1-foot jumper.
That's the first 2-point field goal of the afternoon And a travel against the Sooners. Send us the other way as Stewart gets whistled for it.
That's the freshman jitters you were talking about a little earlier. You got to get those in and get them out of the way. And Brooklyn Stewart will do a lot of big things for the Sooners because she plays the game with a smile on her face and with so much, I think the word you and I said, Chad, she brings joy to the floor.
She does.
She's always smiling and ready to make plays and be a good teammate.
And if she plays the way that she's capable of, she's going to bring a lot of joy to Sooner fans in the not too distant future.
They'll be smiling too.
Sooners have done a good job on Tootie Jones in this first half, kind of the heartbeat of this Belmont team. She's been locked up defensively. Verhulst head up, whipping it ahead to Lofton. Oklahoma not just scorching the nets from three-point range in this first half, 2 of 11 from downtown so far.
Hey, what the league is very active. A lot of deflections, things that don't show up on the stat sheet, but as coaches, you pay attention to those.
Tripp is off the mark with that try. Verhulst. She was ready to throw that baseball pass to Chavez.
Her head and eyes are always up. She is always locked and loaded, ready to let it fly, shooting or passing.
And she's a player that'll, if you make a mistake, she's going to beat you right there. Trying to reach in and poke it away from behind, and she took it all the way in.
Well, that is called taking what the defense gives you. I mean, if you're, like you said, if you're going to give her a straight line, she's going to take advantage of that. If you're going to leave open on the perimeter, she's going to take advantage of that as well.
Sooner lead back to 10. Banks climbing to the rim that time. Jalen Banks, the junior, hanging and banging one down.
That is a big-time play right there. Driving it, scooping it up, left, going left, shooting with the right hand. Really good pass there, too, by Peyton. Maybe a little bit out of reach.
Banks, good hesitation. Blocked by Verhulst, though. Chavez pivoting. And they call it for traveling. Yeah. Sooners once led by 14. 8-point advantage. 4 minutes to go in the opening half of the opening game for 2025-26. New faces on the roster. 3 returning starters and then some pieces, I think, is the way that you would describe it.
Well, I'll tell you what he's finding out right now, Chad, is they may be a 3-point shooting team. And what they're really doing as well is sharing the basketball. They have 7 assists on their 9 made field goals. That's one of the things when you look at a stat sheet, that makes you smile if you see 7 assists on those 9 made field goals.
We were asking him about, this is the 4th year now in the Missouri Valley for Belmont. The transition from the Ohio Valley to the Missouri Valley, and he said, we're playing better basketball, but it's harder to get wins in the Missouri Valley. They were the regular season champs, picked to win it again this year. Banks short with that try. Chavez, the nice save down on the baseline.
See, those head and eyes are up right there. There's a great pass right there by Aaliyah. And as you said earlier, Chad, Brooklyn Stewart making Sooner fans everywhere smile just like her.
Now she beat everybody to the other end. That's the 3rd assist now for Chavez.
For Chavez, I mean, it's something for those at home right now watching. Just keep an eye on her. Her head and eyes are always up in transition and the half court.
There's Fuller with the back down and kind of spun that one up to the rim and in.
Great job.
8-point advantage for Oklahoma. Oklahoma with a couple of freshmen in there. They've got Emma Tolan, the freshman from Ireland, in for the first time. Chavez, tough off-balance shot. Shows you that she's got some physicality as well.
I mean, that is just a great straight-line drive with her right hand, absorbing that contact and putting it high and soft. I always talk about it. Give yourself a chance. Fuller, Will, and Dillon down here getting comfortable in the post.
Work. Era Williams all the way in, just slipped past the defender, but then couldn't finish it. Eubank will have the other way.
Everything but in. Great rip drive right there with the right hand. I think she was a little surprised at how open she really was right there at the end and put a little too much on it.
Eubank tried to put it to her right hand, and they'll call Verhulst, who wasn't necessarily sure, but the backside official, Kevin Pethtel, rung her up. Here's Chavez off to a good start. 3 assists. Get her teammates involved.
Well, that's just a great. She saved the ball, gets it right here on the pitch ahead, Head and eyes are up, and that's just a basketball player making a basketball play. Padding her stats right there. You get a deflection right there, and you come down, and that time, again, absorbs the contact on that straight line right-hand drive. And, Chad, something on that drive prior, Eubank is a lefty. Drove it, straight line drive with her left hand, brought it back with her right hand to the shot blocker, and almost exposed it and gave Peyton a chance to block it.
Say she got away with one, Pooh?
Well, you got to use your body and protect the ball and go up. And she almost was handing out. Halloween was, what, Friday?
Yes.
Passing out trick-or-treat candy. We're not handing out candy.
Yeah.
You got to protect it and use your body and put it high and soft up off the glass.
And a foul on the rebound against Belmont for first. Tolan. First three-point try as a Sooner. And it creates a rebound for Beatrice Culleton. High-low into Beers, bucket, and a foul. Sooners, as you said, so good at that action right there.
They love that high-low. And how about that pass? Beatrice Culleton looks like Patrick Mahomes right here, throwing it through hands. Look at that. That window was very narrow, Chad. And look at, Beers with the hands just went up and just scooped it with one, put it into the second one, and she knows what to do if she gets it down there that deep, close to the basket. Hey, turn out the lights. She is going to score.
You almost take for granted just how good Reagan Beers' hands are. So soft, she can catch just about anything that she throws it.
It's like a vacuum. I mean, she is like it. She's just sucking them in there, catching them with one hand, and using her body. That is what I was talking about with Eubank. You want to use your body and protect it, and that was a great job of using the body on the drive right there by Banks.
So Banks puts it on the deck and fouled by Kaya Smith. And two free throws coming. Jalen Banks, her 64th career start for Banks. They were eliminated from the WBIT after making the championship game April 1st. And Mark Brooks said on April 2nd, she was in the gym getting ready for this year.
He just said again, very similar to Aaliyah Chavez. She loves ball. He said she was in the gym working out 2-3 times a day, where a lot of people be kicking their heels up and trying to rest after a long, the hoop season gets long, Chad. Let's say long season, as you know. And no, Jalen Banks was back in the gym the next day getting work done.
A lot easier to tell them whoa than it is giddy up sometimes.
100%. I would agree with that. I would take that statement to the bank, Chad.
Van splitting some defenders, but not quite. Banks rips it away and scores it. A little DCO, defense creating offense. And then an offensive foul against Van as she's really being worn. Jalen Banks all over her right now.
They are picking up full court, and again, just giving themselves a chance. You're the Bruins, you just want to hang around, and that's one of those, not a lot, but when you're standing right in front of the official, you probably don't want to extend that arm.
So Chavez back into the Oklahoma lineup here. Minute 26 to play, first half. Oklahoma led by 14 to start the game. Right out of the gate, 14-0. That'll be a hold against the freshman Emma Tolan. We talked about the spacing, but it's been some of this dribble drive ability by Belmont here recently that's created some problems for Oklahoma.
Well, Chad, it goes hand in hand, though. You start spacing, you get the defense out there stretched out as well, and it creates those straight lines and those opportunities and those driving spaces that the Bruins are taking advantage of right now.
Banks in and out with that. 9 points to lead the way for Belmont. Reagan Beers has a dozen. Peyton Verhulst has 10. Verhulst 10 points, 6 rebounds, and an assist for Oklahoma already.
Just look, think about that.
Yeah, that's about part. You're not surprised when you say that, right?
Not one bit at all. And it looks, and every bit of it looks easy, and it's not. But she makes it look easy.
Minute to play first half. There's that high-low, and there's 2 more for Beers. Culleton gets another assist.
Give Beers the basket. Give Beatrice the assist, though.
Jones hasn't scored. See if she can get off the schneid there. Instead, she'll give it up to Brody, who misfires. And a foul on the rebound. As Culleton had good position, and Avery Strickland was a little too aggressive.
She was. Yes, she was. And it's funny, Chad, as we're sitting there watching this. This is why Coach Brooks has won, and they're going to win this year because, you know, obviously they're picked to win the league as they're changing their defense. But as you look at every one of his players, they're just a little bit smaller than the Sooners, who are a really big SEC caliber team. But when you have the bodies that he has, you have a chance to win. And I wouldn't say be dominant, but to make big things happen, though, in that Missouri Valley Conference. And he has a multitude. He has a number of bodies that we've seen this early evening, late afternoon. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, still trying to figure that one out.
Shot clock is low right here. Let's see who makes the play.
It'll be Brody, partially blocked, but a foul call. 1 on the shot clock, 6 seconds to play in the first half. It will get Reagan Beers with her first. Here's KK Brody, Pepperdine transfer. Spent 2 seasons at Pepperdine. And she can be a defensive presence for this team. Blocked 48 shots in really limited playing time, only about 12 minutes per game. Pepperdine last year.
She's, like you said, Chad, she brings that defensive, rim protecting, kind of that physicality, someone to, we're talking in the Missouri Valley. I mean, she's going to be a load down there trying to contend with.
Oklahoma will get the final look. Chavez pull up 3, count it at the buzzer.
Had a great pitch ahead right there by Sahara. And again, get that popcorn out, get it ready. Aaliyah knows what to do when she catches it right there.
The Chavez show has begun at the Lloyd Noble Center. And the freshman had 10 in the first half to go along with 3 assists. It is Oklahoma at the break by a dozen in the season opener. Belmont coming in trying to pull the upset. They've done it many times over the years to Power 4 teams. But so far, it's been the Sooners. And the freshman leading the charge has been Chavez. The women's game that has already played today. In fact, you got one in the SEC that's already gone final today.
Well, the Dukies, they lost to the Baylor Bears, right? In Paris, in Paris.
And speaking of that game over in Paris at the We Play Paris, Oklahoma, it was just announced right prior to tip-off, they're going to play North Carolina in their season opener over there in Paris next year. That'll be fun for Jenny Baranczyk.
Are we calling that one, Chad?
Well, early, we're putting our name in early. Get your passport stamped, Coop. Get ready. So 12-point game at the break. And it was a tough first half for Tootie Jones right there, starting her 138th career game, 6th-year player, 2 times All-Missouri Valley Conference. Belmont probably needs her to get going a little bit offensively in half two.
They really do, and you see them trying to go a little pick and roll right there early on, trying to get her going.
Jones didn't score, only took 1 shot in the first half. Brody off the mark with the opener. And tumbling down and losing it out of bounds, Avery Strickland. So we'll go back to Oklahoma. Looks like everybody's okay in there.
Chad, you're talking about Jones, though. Even though she did not score, only had 1 field goal attempt, 4 rebounds, 3 assists.
Yep.
I mean, she still puts her fingerprints. We talked about drawing attention, and there's a swing from that inside-out attention. That is exactly what we talked about. Sooners get an open 3 because of that double team on Reagan Beers.
And that's a shot that Verhulst is probably going to knock down 60–70% of the time. I mean, a wide open look up top.
And I say this last year when we do a game, Chad, sometimes it doesn't show as assist, obviously, for Reagan Beers, but she is getting a team assist or a coach's assist as that 3-point line, still being very good to the Bruins.
How about 8 of 16 from downtown for Belmont? And they have cut this down to a 9-point game. They got as close as 5 after Oklahoma had the 14-0 lead. Beautiful step through and finish on the backside of the rim for Reagan Beers.
Well, that is one thing. If you're going to double the post, you go foot to foot, right? To not give up those splits and those angles. And you do not, even though Reagan Beers is very good, you do not let her get through there.
Brody answers and banks one home the other way. The Pepperdine transfer.
A little pick and roll right there. Oldest play, right? Give and go, then you got the pick and roll and straight to the basket. Good pass, good delivery, and Again, Bruins are hanging.
Sahara Williams turns and fires. Beers back up with the miss, and she's got 2 more. Reagan Beers now 17 points and 3 boards.
She gets nearly three offensive rebounds a game last season, and she already has 2 of them tonight. Looks like she's going to one-up that.
There's nice ball movement. Another open look from 3, but off the mark by Quinn Eubank, and Oklahoma will get it back. And Oklahoma doing what they did in the first half. Let's go to Reagan Beers.
And that is that deep post position right there. Again, we talked about going foot to foot. Eubank had a bad angle on her close and gave that angle up, and that's just a stick back right there. And Reagan Beers being Reagan Beers.
Chavez didn't get the friendly roll. Beers kept that one alive, and it will stay on this end. So Reagan Beers got to play with Team USA, and Jenny Baranchek was one of the assistant coaches at the FIBA America this offseason. Just a great experience for them, and Reagan got to play against top caliber competition, both on Team USA and internationally, and such a learning growth experience for her to go against that caliber competition every day, you know, just in the practices and workouts leading up to it.
Well, and just talking to Coach Baranchek, you know, Saturday, talking about Brazil and Cordova and the different big post players, tall post players that she had to match up with and play against. This is only going to help her when the SEC play starts. And, well, no, next week when they have to play against UCLA, Chad. So Sooners are diving right into that deep water.
That they are. A little off-balance shot there that banks in for KK Brody. Starting to feel some confidence.
That was a big, again, we talked about that Dirk Nowitzki one-leg fadeaway jumper we saw in the first half. She said, back at you.
Ivan shot blocked by Brody. Kept alive for Verhulst. Shot clock did not reset. Verhulst working hard, gets the advantage. Ooh, she got bumped. Yeah, that was a little bit of a late whistle, but you don't mind that as long as the right call is made.
And it was a great play by Peyton Verhulst with that right-hand drive. And she went, I always talk about it, throws the timing of the shot blocker off, Chad. She went right hand, never touched it with her left. Right hand, right foot, as we see this drive. Right here, little give and go action they love so much. See that? Right hand, right foot. That throws the timing of the shot blocker off, and that is what she took advantage of and got herself to the line to shoot too.
You know, we mentioned Team USA, and Peyton Verhulst was invited to camp, got a chance to go through the tryouts. Good experience, didn't make the team. Jen Baranchek said she thought Verhulst had a good chance to make it, but she's put all that behind her, and I would describe it as motivation for this year. It's just she's turned the page and completely focused on making this Oklahoma team in her final year the very best they can be.
Well, that's what good players do. I mean, play the cards you dealt. She didn't make it. She didn't pout. She just said, you know what, I'm going to take it as a learning experience and take what I got from that and bring it back to Norman, and that's what she's doing. And you can see it, too, just with her leadership and how she treats her teammates, how they respond to her.
She's just good at connecting different groups, different styles, pulling them all together. And one of the reasons is she's not afraid to have tough conversations if she needs to with teammates.
Well, that is the sign of real leaders right there, because that's tough. Today. It's always tough, but especially in today's age, Chad, that's a tougher thing to do.
Hall squeezed himself behind the back.
The Harlem Globetrotter action going.
And called for traveling. Good defense that time, combining were Banks and Strickland.
She got herself in a little trouble, and she had a little mishandle out here around the timeline. On the pickup, got a little happy feet right there.
That is 9, make it 10 Oklahoma turnovers. Substitutions both ways. LaChapelle is in for her first appearance of half number 2 for Belmont. Kinsley Feltner is back in. And Oklahoma going a little younger here with the freshman Keziah Lofton and sophomore Kaya Smith.
Really love Keziah Lofton's length out there on the perimeter. She's a defender. You can see that she can cause some havoc. She looks like an SEC wing.
And there she is coming up with that rebound. Chavez, full speed ahead, pulls. No. And Feltner has the rebound. Chavez 10 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists so far. Nice step around that time and an easy look there from Banks.
Big-time move right there by Jalen Banks. She just looks so comfortable out here on the floor, Chad. She is a player.
Jalen Banks leading the way with 13 for the Bruins, who've got a chance to chip away at the Sooner lead. It's 8 right now. LaChapelle to step through, and a 6-point contest.
They are going to hang. I mean, this is what they do. They are known for being a power 4 pain in the backside, and that's what the coaches said when we talked to Coach Baranchek on Saturday.
Verhulst stopped the mark. Sooners 3 of 17 from three-point range. They haven't scored in 3 minutes, and Chavez reaches in and fouls Feltner. She will shoot a pair.
Jalen Banks, Chad, let's watch this. She has 15 points right now. Look, right to left cross, hesitation, step through. I mean, she is going deep into the bag right now. Step through, high, soft, Banks hanging around Belmont.
Leading the charge for Belmont tonight, picking up where she left off a season ago. 15 points, 5 out of 11 from the field. She's knocked down a couple of threes this afternoon.
She just looks so comfortable out here, Chad. You would not know that she is at the number 6 team in the nation playing on the road. She looks like she's playing in her backyard, just making play after play. And exactly what Coach Brooks said about her, just being a competitor, you can see it coming out of her right now in this game.
3rd season of Belmont out of Middle Tennessee Christian School in Spring Hill, Tennessee. And a 15-point evening, afternoon, night, whatever you want to call it. It's good for Jalen Banks, but not unexpected. You mentioned she was the freshman of the year in the Missouri Valley 2 years ago, 3rd team all-conference last year, and closed with a bang. She was on the WBIT all-tournament team as they were the runners-up in that postseason event.
Well, you're talking game winners, 25 points, making play after play after play, and that can only give you confidence, and you can see what it has done for Jalen Banks. And as Coach Brooks and all fans of the Belmont Bruins, expecting big things for her as this season goes on.
4-point game, close as it's been since the opening minute when Oklahoma had a 5-0 lead in the first minute. Belmont with a chance to get closer. Here's Tripp. She's been quiet in the second half, made a couple of threes in the first. Loose ball scramble, and it bounds out to Feltner. Big set of the shot clock to 20 here for the Bruins. Banks facilitating. LaChapelle making it a 2-point game.
That is Belmont Bruins basketball, Chad. Back cut, hard to the basket, off the dribble, floor space. Sooners are in that mode of trying to get out, deny, and make some plays, and Belmont using it to their advantage.
8-0 run for Belmont. Oklahoma just one of their last 8 from the field. Lofton tried to change it, and she's fouled by Feltner underneath. Belmont able to make it a 2-point game. The facilitator this time, Jalen Banks, and the easy 2 for Emily LaChapelle. Back in this rally for Belmont.
Well, Belmont has started to pack it in on the defensive end, Chad. And in this 8-0 run, they've made threes, they've had layups, and they're just playing with so much activity. But one of the things that's jumping off the stat sheet at me is Belmont has 9 offensive rebounds. Oklahoma has 7. For the Sooners to do what they want to do and make this run and get separation, that number has to change.
So to the foul line, Keziah Lofton. Just plays so hard is what Jenny Baranchek says of her. 5-star prospect per 247 Sports. Number 2 player in Oklahoma coming out of high school.
Chad, you know one of those things we talk about all the time is that offensive rebounding number is an activity stat. That tells you how hard a team or each individual on that team is playing. And right now, you have to give Belmont credit. They're up 9-7 on the offensive glass, and they are making the plays.
Oklahoma 6 of 11 from the free throw line today. Verhulst batted that one away from Kensley Feltner. And Beatrice Culleton returns. She will replace the Sooner freshman Keziah Lofton.
Let's see this lineup. This is an activity lineup for the Sooners with Kaya Smith. You also have Peyton, who's very active. Beatrice Culleton was extra active in that first half.
And a steal. Chavez goes up high, and she is fouled as LaChapelle kind of efforting to get at that ball.
As Jenny is going, she is looking to her bench, and when you're coaching, these are the things you have to do. You have to say who is playing with effort, who can I depend on, and who can I get out here to give us a spark, and that is what Jenny Baranczyk is doing right now.
Chavez has 3 steals this evening as well. Beers had it stripped, but a foul.
Did you see that, Chad? I'm sorry to cut you off, but when Reagan Beers caught that ball, Beatrice Cullerton had 2 Bruins sandwiching her down in that low post. Again, they are packing it in right now. That is something to keep an eye on with the Sooners. Someone's going to have to step up and make some shots, and that is why Peyton Verhulst is in this game.
And the 2 teams basically exchange turnovers. The net result is Oklahoma gives it right back to Belmont. The Bruins will have a chance to tie or take the lead. 8-0 run in progress for Belmont. Oklahoma has not scored in 3.5 minutes. Think about the initial 14-0 run. Oklahoma led this game 14-0. Other than that, Belmont has gotten the better of things. Mid-post here for Brody. Action to trip, and it's tied.
Got a brand new ball game right here, Chad. And that is, again, we talked about that great offensive execution that Belmont plays. And again, you see him packing it in. Someone's going to have to make a shot that's not named Verhulst or Chavez, or you're going to have to throw it inside and then get it out and get them in rotation.
Sooners 3 of 19 from 3 land. Tripp hits it, and Belmont leads for the first time. It's a 13-0 run for the Bruins on the road against number 6, and they are on top with 3:15 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Again, they have been here before, Chad. They look and they act like it because, again, we talked about a defensive edge, which now you see what their plan is. Pack it in the paint that time.
That'll be a holding foul on the floor against Brody. Let's look at three-pointer number 9 in 20 tries for Belmont today.
They are letting it fly, and right now they are shooting it at a 45% clip, and they're up 9-3 from behind the arc right now, Chad. They've made 9, the Sooners made 3, and they are shooting it at a high percentage.
Oklahoma's got 5 points since halftime. 5. Reagan Beers will try to change that. Belmont a change in defensive strategy, as you talked about, making sure that Beers is not going to beat them inside.
One of those things we kind of talked about at half, and they came out. Coach Brooks must have got the memo as well, because he is packing that thing in, and someone's going to have to make plays. Or you can throw it inside to Reagan and then get it in rotation, and then it will find that shooter like number 12 here, Peyton Verhulst.
So Beers' free throw snapped a 13-0 advantage. Sahara Williams climbs up to get another rebound. She has yet to score today, but she'll try to change that at the free throw line where she has the opportunity to tie this game.
Well, Chad, what did we talk about? Activity stats. That is an activity stat, offensive rebounding. And the Bruins were out rebounding the Sooners, and that is what Sahara, she got the message. She went right to the glass, playing to her strength, where she plays so strong in the paint, and that's what she has to do to get on the board.
That's her first point. Now, she does have 7 rebounds and 4 assists, but she just went in there and took that ball.
That was a strong, strong rebound, and that is how she plays.
1 of 2 for Williams.
Power. She brings power, plays with power in there, in that paint. Switching all this.
Jones has yet to score for Belmont. LaChapelle, a little strong with that one. And the rebound to the freshman Brooklyn Stewart. Chavez pushes, pulls, and hits.
Sometimes players make plays, Chad, and that is exactly what we just witnessed.
Sooners back up on the bucket by the star freshman. Her first field goal in half number 2. Rudy Jones. Cullerton pops out to take her. Mismatch inside. Brody over the top, but couldn't finish it. Chavez, head up. Sahara Williams. Rebound ripped away by Stewart, and she'll shoot 2.
Talking about activity, Chad, offensive rebounding. We said that number hasn't changed, and this is just a player making a play. You notice going to her left, I talked about, that's where she's comfortable. Just created a little space with that sidestep, step back is jump shot. And Coach Baranchek said her pull-up is money, and that time it was straight to the, although banking hours, I don't know. Still open, still.
I'm confused on the time. You know, we had daylight savings, which is confusing, then a 4:30 tip-off, and we got a doubleheader here today. So, yeah, whichever way you want to go.
Thanks, Open.
In and out, no good on the free throw. Oklahoma, in itself in the favors at the charity stripe, only 50% so far. Stewart converts 1 of 2.
Picking up a little bit here, full court pressure. Sahara and Payton. Again, this is a veteran team, and that's one of the things that Coach Brooks said. He said he feels good about his guard depth. Didn't know what else to expect, Chad, but he did say he felt good about his guard depth, and you can see it right now this evening. / late afternoon. I'm going to stop.
Still working through that. Jones leading Fuller just a little too much. Chavez in and out. And a foul on the rebound. Fuller had it, and they'll call the foul over the top against Brooklyn Stewart. 3 fouls on Stewart. Sooners do have some foul trouble. Nia Van is over on the bench with 4 personals. As we said, that's number 3 on Stewart. Minute 20 to play in this period. Belmont's outscored Oklahoma 20-10 in the 3rd. They had the lead, and they had a chance to tie it before Chavez erased that one from behind on Fuller.
Great job of helping the helper by Aaliyah Chavez, because you see Beatrice Culleton coming over, rotating to help, and then cracking down right there. Aaliyah, you know, comes right back and big-time block. And that is helping your teammate, because Stewart was beat on the straight-line drive, which is what caused Beatrice Culleton to come over and help.
Strickland pulls the trigger in and out. Beers right back in, and she plucks away her 5th rebound.
High low, there it is.
Here's deep post position, fouled before she got the shot away.
You can see that thing coming in slow motion right there. The Sooners are just so, and you know what makes it so hard? Because they do such a great job of getting into that action right out of, it's just early offense, right out of the flow of early offense, and teams aren't back and set right now, and that is why they get that so many times, Chad. It's easier to guard that in the half court when everybody's kind of locked in, but early offense, right out of the flow, OU just flows right into that high-low, and boy, they get it a lot.
Beers family here. Reagan's sister Riley plays on this Belmont squad. Haven't seen her yet. We're kind of waiting to tell you the full story if and when Riley checks in, but she may not. But they played together for 1 year. They're at Fowler Christian in Littleton, Colorado, and there's about 40 or 50 members of the family, all wearing Beers t-shirts right behind the Belmont bench. Well, we have not yet seen Riley. They both wear number 15.
And that is something for those at home. If you remember, Reagan wore number 52 last season because of Lacey Keys.
That's right. Rebounded inside by Verhulst, her 7th. 11 points and 7 boards. Culleton into Beers, right up to the rim. Not this time. Wrestling match between La Chapelle and Culleton. Held ball, and the possession arrow stays here.
How about that offensive rebound by Beatrice Culleton, just going and getting that. And that was, again, that high-low right out of transition. And Beatrice had a running start and just went and squeezed that thing with 2 hands and comes up with the tie-up.
2-point Oklahoma lead, 27 seconds to play. They reset the shot clock to 20. Where Jim Baranchek goes here, kind of close out this score. It's been Reagan Beers and more Reagan Beers.
It has been a lot of beers, Chad.
Verhulst poked away. Great defense by Jalen Banks. She's got a chance to tie this game up, but Verhulst blocked it. 6 seconds to go. Streaking ahead, Sahara Williams cashes in. Then Oklahoma takes a 4-point lead to the 4th. Defense and a great pass by Peyton Verhulst to close it, Pooh.
Chad, that is DCO at its finest. Defense creating offense. Sahara looking like Patrick Mahomes. Touchdown. First collegiate game, and you get to come and you have your entire family here, and you get to see your All-American sister. And although you're not really rooting for her tonight, if you are Riley Beers, you're rooting for your teammates. It still had to be good to see your sister.
There they were on the bench as high school teammates. Wonder who the family's rooting for. This was last year when Reagan was already at Oklahoma. Riley paid her a visit. Wonder if she's still got that Oklahoma Sooner sweatshirt somewhere. Traded that one in, I think.
Yeah, I think she's got a little different color going on now with the sweatshirts.
Fuller fouled by Chavez, who got good low post position. And she'll have a chance to get Belmont back within 2.
Fuller does a really good job of wedging and using her body to get angles and give herself a chance down there in the paint.
Couple of free throws here for Hillary Fuller, the Australian sophomore, making it a 3-point game. Mom and Dad in the crowd along with family and friends. Ike, Dad, is here with them. Look at that. What a great shot.
How cool is that, too, for a parent to be able to come and see both of your daughters playing against one another tonight? That's just, can't imagine that, Chad.
That one knocked away from behind by Feltner. Loose ball ahead of the pack. Strickland lays it in, and we're tied again. 58 apiece.
I tell you what, we said earlier, you better buckle your seatbelt, your chin strap. It's still football season. You better buckle up, though, because when you play the Bruins, they are going to make it hard on you.
Beers, bucket, and a foul. But no answer for that.
When all else fails, Chad, number 15 in the white jersey, when she swivels and gets that position, and she talked about wedging and using that body to go over that left shoulder and create space, there's none better in the country than number 15, Reagan Beers.
You know, we talked to Bart Brooks, the Belmont coach, and in the last couple of years, you talk to opposing coaches, and they say, we can prepare for Oklahoma, but we can't prepare for their physicality. We know what their sets are. We know where they're going to throw the ball. We know who's going to touch it. But when you go up against Reagan Beers, you finally get in there, it's just different.
Again, we talked about it in the open. She puts so much pressure on the opposition because her physicality, you can't recreate that. You do not see that day in and day out.
Still scoreless is Jones today. She misfires on that 3. Chavez head up. 2-point Oklahoma lead, and Beers backing her way in. Called for an offensive foul this time. Those will happen from time to time.
They do. When she had her arms out, that gave the referee, when he can see those arms, he or she could see it. And she had 91 turnovers being Reagan Beers last year, and a lot of them were that. She gets 1 or more of those per game, and that is why her turnover numbers look so high.
Here's Banks, ball in her hands. She's had a great evening. 15 points. She's made a couple of threes. And they've played through her for a lot of this second and third quarters. Shot clock under 5. Banks got to get one up against one of the better defenders in the country, Williams, who stripped her. Ahead it comes. Chavez. Williams up with it. No. She saves it. Zaya Van back in there with 4 fouls. Williams splits defenders and missed again. Sahara will not be denied.
Chad, that is, if there ever was a play that screams stick-to-itiveness, that was the play. Sahara Williams would not be denied, as you said. She was going to get that ball in the hole, and she made it happen.
So now timeout taken here by Belmont. Oklahoma has re-extended it to a 4-point lead, and they just don't want it to get any further. Feels like an important possession, and so Bart Brooks is going to take a timeout. Oklahoma up 2 with under 8 to play. Very good. She's also blocked a shot to go along with 12 points, 3 steals, and 4 assists today. Banks has delivered. And Sanaa Tripp, maybe a little bit of a surprise. Tripp's contributions today for Belmont, but they have certainly taken advantage of her good play.
Well, and then the thing, though, if you go back to the open, we talked about a mental toughness, great offensive execution, and a defensive edge. And I think right now, you can't say that these Belmont Bruins aren't doing all three of those, Chad. Think about it. They're mentally tough because they got punched right in the mouth. And again, don't blink when you play the Sooners.
Nope, right to the other end.
Don't blink.
That ball no sooner than came through the net, and Oklahoma had the ball down to Brooklyn Stewart.
Oh, that is a made field goal, and you look up, and next thing you know, you don't think about celebrating. You give a high five, and you better be turned, and you better be sprinting back on defense, not backpedaling.
Oklahoma.
Sprinting.
Sooners now just 9 of 21 at the foul line today.
It has definitely been an Achilles. That's been a thorn in their side right there, Chad, the foul line.
1 of 2, though, for Stewart. And a 3-point lead for the Sooners. Banks. Harold Williams has been charged with trying to slow her down. Beautiful little give and go, but off the mark with the shot was Brody. And Chavez pushes the tempo. Chavez all the way to the rim. The double clutch, no, but a couple of free throws here for Chavez.
That is a great job, though, attacking and using the traffic. You always hear me talk about that, Chad. Using that traffic in transition. That way you weave off of your players and Belmont's players and make your way to the basket. And Aaliyah, that is instinctive plays. And for a young freshman, she looked very comfortable using the traffic right there in transition.
I got to a 4-point game. 13 points now for Chavez.
Or it got quiet in here, didn't it?
Do not disturb.
I put the do not disturb sign up on the door.
So 5-point advantage now for Oklahoma. See where Belmont goes for the answer. For the large part today, it's been Jalen Banks. She tries it here. Long rebound. And Eubank picked it up. Reset here for the Bruins.
You know what, though? I'd say Belmont is at their best when they're getting it out. And it's been Banks making a lot of the plays, but they're getting out of the offensive flow. You know, the pick and roll, the high-low, the back cuts. That is when they're at their best.
Brody, an air ball 3, and Chavez takes it the other way for Oklahoma off a great defensive set. Chavez, stop and pop, 3. And tripped the rebound.
That was one of those haymakers. That's what you call, Chad. That was one of those, definitely a makeable shot for Aaliyah Chavez. But that was OU throwing a haymaker right there, trying to get that 5-point lead up to 8.
Cy Van finds a little crease. Chavez left open, corner 3. Not this time. What a rebound there by Stewart. And her shot was blocked, but a foul call coming here against Emily LaChapelle.
That was definitely, Cy Van got a little tripped up. Thought she might have had a layup, but that drive and drift action right there. Great job by Aaliyah Chavez finding that open area, and then Zaya making the play to throw it to her right on the money, and you'll take that shot every time.
So Stewart back to the line. She's got 4 points, 2 of 4 at the line today. She's been a lot of fun to coach so far. Jenny Baranczyk telling a couple of stories about this freshman. She said, first off, she chest bumped me in practice. That's a first. And the other day, their exhibition game against Oklahoma Christian, she said, Coach, good job on the halftime speech. Also a first for Coach Baranczyk.
Must have been one heck of a halftime speech.
Beers, offensive rebound and a putback, and the Sooners stretch it back out to 8 points.
We got a 3-point play somewhat the old-fashioned way. Make one free throw, miss a second, get a putback.
Reagan Beers, 23 points and 6 boards to lead Oklahoma. Jones still without a field goal. The reset, Strickland. And Beers claims the miss. Sia Van. 1 on 3. And an offensive foul. She is fouled out. They call her for a little hook there, and she tapped her chest and said, that's my fault. She tried to work her way around Banks.
Well, Jenny's not happy with it. But you know, it's just when you do it right in front of the official. And it wasn't malicious, Chad. I don't even know if she gained very much of an advantage by doing. If we get a look right here, there wasn't a lot to it. I mean, but I mean, did she put her arm around? Yeah. And so by the law of the room, maybe? I don't know. Again, but again, did she get an advantage off of that? I don't think so, to be totally honest.
So the play is under review.
Potential upgrade.
Upgrade. Okay. Kevin Peftel on the mic over there, and now at the video review monitor courtside, Leah Laney's going to join him. It is foul number 5 against Zion Fan. She'll foul out with 2 points, 1 of 3 from the field, and 5 rebounds, a couple of assists. All part of the learning process. You know, in the experienced team they had last season, Zion Fan was able to watch and learn quite a bit. This is going to be more of a learn by playing, but
yeah,
she had, I think, what was termed like selective fearlessness. She played like a fearless freshman at times, and at times she was a little reserved.
And that is what...
After review, common foul remains. Common foul is confirmed.
That shouldn't have taken long, and it did not. But you're right, Chad. Like Zion Van scored 17 against Kentucky, and you know, guards an All-American. First time, she looked like a freshman. Second time, as Coach said, she made a jump and made big plays and looked like she has a chance to be that player that is going to be a potential All-American type someday. And then other games, she said she kind of fell back and was kind of in the shadows. So that is the thing, and that's part of growing up, and that is why you go from being a freshman to a sophomore.
And I'm sure she will get a full report from her sister, Skylar. At some point, and her dad, Brian.
Yeah. She has OU blood flowing through those veins.
Both former Sooners. Skylar played here last year with Zion. Shot clock is at 15 for the Bruins. Tripp says, why not? It's worked all night. Not this time. Reagan Beers just collecting bushels of rebounds.
Chad, I wanted to say this a little bit ago, and we'll see if I get a chance to. But one of the things I've noticed about the last, you get down there, that's lights out.
Yep.
Lights out. Left hand over the right shoulder, right hand over the left shoulder. She is going to score. But the last about 5 or 6 possessions, Aaliyah Chavez has really been guarding on this defensive end, and you're seeing her grow up a little bit.
The answer comes from Fuller. It's the 10th made 3 for Belmont today.
OU was on an 8-0 run. That definitely stopped the bleeding.
Right back to Beers. Got him pinned down.
She is getting that ball deep in the paint, and give her 27 points, Chad, and 8 rebounds now. I bet you she gets a double-double by the end of the night.
Averaged right at a double-double a season ago. 17 points and 9+ rebounds.
And Belmont is doing a really good job of trying to drag Reagan Beers out of that paint, though. They're making her and Beatrice Cullerton come out and guard on the floor.
Reagan Beers with another board, number 9. Chavez trying to hesitate, blow by Strickland. Here's Cullerton this time. She's got a height advantage, and she's fouled by Banks.
But let's see, Chad, right there. That is when Aaliyah Chavez is becoming a college level. That is what makes her such a big-time player. She had an inkling to let that thing fly, but you know what she did? We want to win. I see a mismatch. I'm going to throw this ball in the post. That is the game plan. Get the ball in the paint. She throws it in. Now the Sooners are shooting too. To not take that step back 3 over there in the left corner, that's when you know that this young lady is all about ball and wants to win.
She should get an assist if Cullerton makes these free.
We've had this conversation before, Chad. I told you, we called this a coach's assist. Even make or miss on the foul shots. But your talk, and I'm not necessarily arguing with you. If she makes both, or did you say 1?
I think if you get 1 free throw, you score a point, and she didn't get either one of them. But yeah, you should get credit for an assist if your teammate scores a point in any way after you made a good pass.
Okay.
Subject for another day.
We'll chew on that. We'll get back.
Yeah, we're doing Sports Talk Radio. We got a good ball game.
We'll table that while we let this great game we're watching continue.
Banks. Belmont needing the bucket here, but she's got Sahara Williams in front of her. Trying to get around her. Williams knocked it away. Banks couldn't find it.
That is just a lockdown defender right there. One of the best in the SEC, one of the best in the country. Just digging in, and it was that deflection that really threw Banks off.
Williams gallops to the bucket. She's tied a career high with 10 points today. And Williams has 7 points. The Sooners back up by double digits.
That was a great give and go right there, though. And you saw the excitement in Brooklyn Stewart's eyes. You give right here to Stewart. Hard cut by Sahara. Drops the dime right there, Brooklyn Stewart. And you get Sahara down there in the paint. She knows what to do and knows how to finish.
So the Sooners have made their last 4 from the field. They've also held Belmont 1 of 10 from the floor. You mentioned it with Aaliyah Chavez a few moments ago. It's been on the defensive end that Oklahoma's taking control of.
That is exactly what they've done. You have to get stops, though. Stop, score, stop. And that's kind of one of the things you work on when you do situations in practice. And OU was in a situation where they wanted stop, score, stop. And then again, we talked about kills. That's a 3rd stop. 3 stops equals a kill. OU's probably right now racked up at least 2 kills in this 4th period.
Banks, Williams ruggedly defending her. Williams got the steal, and then Banks fouled her.
Well, Chad, is this not what we talked to Coach? He said, Coach Brooks, sometimes Banks' biggest strength being a competitor can be her weakness as well. And that's kind of what he was talking about, because right now she's in a battle right now with Sahara, and you're talking one of the best defenders in college basketball.
Sahara Williams playing with Team USA 3 versus 3 team. 2nd time she's been able to do that in her career. She's got to see the world, and her role with that team is a defensive tone set, a lot like what she is and can be at Oklahoma.
Oh, I mean, she is one of the best in the SEC. You're talking 8 ranked teams in this league, and that makes her one of the best in the country because she's just so versatile. She can guard so many positions, Jack.
Culleton lost that one on the way up.
Right now, we're seeing her lock into a point guard, but she can guard power forwards too, and everything in between. So you can put Sahara out there and let her switch multiple screens, different positions. You can switch on the ball, you can switch off the ball. She makes plays on that defensive end.
And with all the talented wings that you have in the SEC, such a commodity to have a defender like Sahara Williams.
Oh, and she's strong enough. That's what allows her to defend those different positions.
Sooners up 11. Belmont trying to work it inside to Fuller. Banks off the mark. Bruins have gone cold from the 3 line. Williams, deep post position, cashes in the feed from Verhulst.
Chad, you mentioned this earlier. You said Sahara hadn't scored yet, but she was, again, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. But now you look up, and Sahara Williams has 7, went to 9 points on that last field goal.
Whistle and a foul, Williams in. Banks getting tied up. I didn't see who the foul was against.
They are going to the monitor to check for potential. I'm not sure if it was a flop. I did not see it, so.
They've sent both teams to their respective benches here, and I never did see what the call was. They just stopped play. So they call a foul on Sahara Williams.
Previous play is under review.
Over to the monitor once again, Kevin Pethel and Leah Lane. This is a 6-0 run in 2.5 minutes. And more than anything, Belmont now 2.5 minutes scoring drought. They're just one of their last 12 from the field. Oklahoma has started to pull away.
And it has all spawned from the defensive end, Chad. That is where, here we go right here. You see him in the center. They called an offensive foul. That was a call on Sahara.
One more long look. It's hard to tell from the back. So the upgrade would be contact above the neck. And it's hard to tell from that angle.
That's what that is exactly what they're doing, because the offensive foul was called on Sahara, and it was an extension of the arm. But you're right, Chad. I could not see, to be honest with you, if it was above the shoulders.
If it is upgraded, you got the potential of a flagrant foul and free throws in the ball for Belmont. Without it, it's only the 4th team foul against Oklahoma.
And Chad, talking about that defensive stance that the Sooners started to take in this fourth quarter.
Common foul is confirmed.
So common foul, and the 4th against the Sooners, 1st against Williams.
Jalen Banks had been stuck on 15 for a while, and give the Sooners credit because she was cooking with hot grease and shooting at a really big basket. And they really did a good job of digging in and starting to guard her.
The other number is Belmont stayed in it from the 3-point line, 7 of 15 in the first half. Second half, 3 of 17 are the Bruins. So hasn't been as productive from out there downtown in half number 2. But still a chance. Need a bucket here, though, do the Bruins.
2 hands right there by Stewart.
And that's bonus time now for Belmont. That's one way they can slide back into it.
Yep. Scoring with the clock not ticking. That's exactly what you want if you're Belmont and what you do not want if you are a Sooner.
Jenny Baranczyk's team has been tested. They raced out to a 14-point lead, led 14-0. Belmont came back. They took the lead on a couple of occasions. Largest lead for the Bruins was 54-51. But Oklahoma settled in defensively, got the ball into Reagan Beers.
Crashed that glass as well on the offensive end, and that was the recipe, Chad.
1 of 2 there from Strickland. And she'll be replaced by Quinn Eubank.
You definitely nailed it, though. Dig in on the defensive end, get the ball to number 15 on the offensive end, and then go get extra possessions.
Beers up and over again. 29-9 for Reagan Beers today.
Just another day at the office, and I'm looking over in the Beers section. Her dad is, you can definitely see Reagan's dad when she's scoring over that left shoulder.
Chavez plucks away the rebound. Oklahoma wanting to run. That's tipped away from behind, though, by Fuller. And a foul on Sahara Williams trying to run through the passing lane. Instead, bowls over Banks. And 2 free throws the other way for Banks.
Sahara looks like she's so physical out there, Chad. She looks like one of Brent Venables' defenders right there. With that same mentality they bring, she brings it to the hardwood because she's that type of defender.
Yeah. What a great journey for Sahara Williams.
I think Coach Venables would like Sahara.
She can make plays.
She is a defender.
You know, her 3-on-3 with Team USA. She's gone from Waterloo, Iowa, which is home, to Mongolia, and seen so many things in her career, and still a lot of time left. Reagan Beers now with a double-double. That is her 10th rebound. Chavez had it poked away, and a little over-aggressive that time was Banks. Sooners are also in the bonus, so Chavez will shoot a couple of free throws.
I think that's Banks' 4th foul. She is a competitor, though. She fights. You can see it. She's going to help Coach Brooks win a lot of games this year.
Belmont picked once again to win the Missouri Valley. Murray State right there. They won the regular season, won the postseason last year, did Murray State. Those 2 teams came into the league at the same time into the Valley 4 years ago. And it's become a really good rivalry between the 2 in that league. Chavez connects right there. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists.
Stat stuffing.
3 steals. And foul before the free throw. Violation before the free throw. They'll get Stewart for that.
Stewart going in a little early. Then he's not too excited about that.
14-point Sooner lead. This actually matches their largest of the game when it was 14-0. That's a 2, put just inside the line for Hillary Fuller. Minute to go. Belmont tested Oklahoma, led it in the third quarter. But the Sooners turned to their All-American Reagan Beers and pull away in the end. Stewart on the backside off a nice feed by Sahara Williams.
That is just a big-time play, Chad, because that ball was anyone's ball. That was a 50-50 loose ball, and Sahara Williams made sure that the 50 was not 50. It was about a 90-10 her ball. She went and got it, and then had the wherewithal to find Stewart right there under the basket and make that play.
Sooners have made their last 7 from the field. Oklahoma 50 points in the paint. So they've struggled to find it from the foul line and the three-point line. But when you've got Reagan Beers and she can get 2 feet beneath the bucket, it's game, set, match.
Oh, that, hey, 29 of those would come from number 15 Beers of that 50 points in the paint. And then some of those drives and putbacks. I mean, they've lived in that paint tonight. Which we said in the second half, Chad, you asked, and we thought that's probably where they would go. It's not a bad place to go.
Stewart goes in, rejected, sent out by Fuller. What a save by Williams. Just so competitive is Sahara Williams. I mean,
Chad, you know how good Sahara Williams is. You don't feel like she played her best game, and she comes out with a double-double.
Yes, she did, and Oklahoma wins it. A very good fight from Belmont this afternoon as Jenny Baranczyk and Bart Brooks exchange handshakes. Oklahoma now 2-0 all-time in this series. They ride their All-American Reagan Beers, who had 29 points and 10 rebounds. Poussette a double-double for Sahara Williams. She had 11 points and a career-high 14 rebounds in this one. And when Oklahoma needed to put it away, they went to Beers. Jenny Baranczyk remains undefeated in 5 season openers as Oklahoma head coach.
Well, Chad, and the most impressive thing that I will say is just when they needed it, they dug in on the defensive end, and they found a way to fight and get it done.
This Belmont team going to win a lot of games in the Missouri Valley this year. They're the preseason pick to win it. Sooners huddle up in the center court. So Beers in double figures with 29. Verhulst and Williams had 11, and Aaliyah Chavez in her debut. Really good for the freshman. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. She helped in this Oklahoma victory here today. Sahara Williams helped the Sooners put it away on the defensive end. That's where Oklahoma made a difference. Latter stages of the third and rolling into the fourth quarter, the tone setter defensively was Sahara Williams.
I think she made the plays, Chad. She stepped up, did what needed to be done, really dug in on the defensive end. Also on that offensive board where we saw her be so effective. And sometimes one player can be a majority. She was a majority in that late third quarter, fourth quarter, all the way through.
So they are handing out some game balls. I believe Peyton Verhulst, 1,500 career points for Beers and 1,000 career points for Peyton Verhulst. So they're awarding them some game balls. Just a couple of the many accolades that this pair will check the boxes on as the season goes along. And Oklahoma wins it 84-67. Once again, Belmont came and took the lead by 3 points in the third quarter before the Sooners pulled away. Oklahoma is 1-0 to start 2025-26. Sooners